Alright, howdy boyos, and welcome back to Steel Division Normandy 44 with yet another Battlegroup review. In the last Battlegroup review, I showed you the 2nd Infantry under the Allies, which is very recently added to the game, and now I'm going to show you the 17th SS, which is also very recently added to the game. Let's make a new Battlegroup called Review. And we'll jump right into the 17th SS. And the difference between these two is that the 17th SS is a mechanized division, so they rely less on tanks and more on semi-mobile transports. And the main thing with these guys, and you can say like, they don't rely on tanks, that's a lie. Well, just look at this. This is, okay. I'm not being negative when I say this is amazing, and that's not like me being sarcastic. Obviously, the 12th SS is a Panzer division. They have Panthers, Panzer IVs, just a lot of them. And this division only gets, 3 Befehl Panzer IVs, and then you're already, 3 of your 5 cards are already wasted. So obviously you don't want to do that. But they get so many StuGs, you can, just look at that. 12 StuGs, you can get 4 StuGs at Veteran C2. I mean, obviously no one's going to do this because that means you don't get any tanks until Phase C, but you could have 16 StuGs at either 1 or 2 stars. Like, that is ridiculous! And in Phase 1, you can get a 2-star StuG 3 with 14 AP. It's got a machine gun on top. Armor isn't that amazing. But this can be a really good unit, especially because it's got 2 stars, which is a pretty damn good opening tank. And then you can start off with like a Phase B tank and go from there. Anyway, obviously I'm going to start the Recon. I just wanted to show you that there's definitely a difference between this and the 12th SS, especially in the tank tab. But we'll see what else is different. Starting in the Recon, we have the Speertrupp in the Schwimmwagen, which is amphibious, so that's actually, I think, it kind of balances out against the Indian Head Division, which had, the 4 GPA amphibious vehicles. These guys come with 2 Gewehr 43s. I don't think I've seen those too much. An MP40, and this might be an MP43. Yeah, sorry, did I say 43? MG34, my bad, sorry. And they come with the Schwimmwagen, which will disappear after they disembark because it doesn't have a gun. But hey, it's a Schwimmwagen, so it can go in the water. There's no idea, no indication of how fast it goes in the water. But I guess we'll have to, we'll probably add that later, because in Wargame, one of the stats you could see was the amphibious speed of vehicles in Red Dragon. Then we have a motorcycle in Phase A. Really, really, really fast. 100 kilometers per hour is probably the fastest I've seen any of the ground vehicles, move. The thing with that is, though, I don't know. I'm too used to Men of War, I guess. I'm too used to Men of War where these things are absolute pieces of shit. And here comes another question for you. This is a actual genuine question that I have. This obviously should take a squad of Americans about 2 seconds to mow down. They're in the open. So if this can get mowed down by infantry, how, I'm hoping that there is an example for me to make here. Well, I guess there isn't, so I can't make the example. But how is it possible for infantry to shoot out these guys? But if you look at, I'm going to have to show it anyway now. I'm sorry. Let's just fucking discard this. How is it possible for infantry to shoot out motorcyclists, but how is it not possible for them to shoot out the gunner on this half-track? That's just something that's really been triggering me the last couple of games that I played, and especially when you're playing as a faction that doesn't have a T in their units, it's really, really, really hard to deal with the half-tracks. Even the SS half-tracks, even these Hanomag's, I've never shot a gun in real life at another person hiding behind a gun shield like this. I've shot guns before now, I can say that. But I don't think it'd be impossible for someone to hit this guy. Obviously not, especially not from the side or from the back. I have seen half-tracks drive by like 4 feet away from like a British or Scottish team, and they just sit there. They can't throw a grenade inside. They can't shoot the they can't shoot the gunner. I think that's kind of a broken thing, and that should definitely be looked at. Sorry for my kind of ragey thing, but it's just something that I really get kind of triggered by, and I think that they should definitely look at that, you know, before the actual release, or hopefully soon after the release, because this is something that's really annoying. If these guys obviously can be killed by infantry, I really want the fucking gunner on a half track to be able to be killed by infantry. Give him like a defensive bonus, but just have like shooter knocked out 30 seconds, or shooter knocked out 20 seconds, or, you know, something like that. Like, yeah, that in tanks, do it on a half track, it's not that hard. Anyway, moving on to a very interesting vehicle. You get 2 Aufklärer, which are 2 recon guys with MP40s, but you get a 221. And this 221 isn't armed with the machine gun, it's armed with the Panzerbüchse 41, or a well, I guess, I don't know, I guess Panzerbüchse, it doesn't look really a literal translation. It's like tank gun or tank buster, maybe. Basically, it's a 28mm anti-tank rifle on top of a 222 chassis. So it's actually really, really cool that you have this very kind of light AT capability, which makes it less, it makes you less reliant on those early AT guns in the early phases of Alpha. If you have one of these, this could probably deal with the Stuart. Since it's 8 AP, and it's got 15 RPM, that's pretty damn good. The accuracy is not that great, but, you know, who cares? If you can fire 4 fucking 15 rounds per minute, then accuracy isn't that important anymore. Then we have the Aufklärer, same team, in a 222 with the 20mm and the 7.92 machine gun. I think it's an MG34, right? Yeah, it's an MG34. Moving on, that's also in Phase B. In Phase B, we have the, I don't know, maybe Schwere Panzerwagen? Maybe that's what SPW means, or like heavy armored car. It's basically like an upgun 222. I think it has more armor, actually. Let's see, can I see that here? 222, and this has 322. So it's got like 1 point armor more. It's got some helmets here. Maybe that's the protection added to it. And basically, it still has a 20mm. You know, and this is one of those cars that I actually have one on my deck. It's to kind of like help a push, especially because it's Recon. It can spot stuff before, you know, your other units can. Then we have the 233, which is basically a short stubby 75, which I think you also saw on the early Panzer IV models, you know, the Panzer IV F1 and some of the Panzer IV Es. These came with the short 75. And this gun actually has AP. I'm assuming it's heat, but it's basically just like a large infantry support gun mounted on a vehicle. It's kind of useful. Then we have the SPW231 in Phase C. You just get double data availability, and the same goes for the 233, which you get double data availability. Availability. Wow, I totally went fucking insane there. The double the availability in Phase C for the 233. Moving on to the infantry, which was kind of a shocker to me, but there's some really, really cool stuff in here. So first, with the Panzer Grenadier Führer, armed with 2 cars, 2 MP40s, and a smoke grenade. The smoke grenade won't allow you to do explosive damage, but it allows you to obviously smoke a location in advance. It's kind of useful. You can get 3 of them, 3 per card in Phase A, and they come in a Schwimmwagen. Here comes the interesting part. SS StuGs, because that's what that's a Ringel S. It's basically just a old German way of writing 2 S's. I don't know the rules for it. All I know is that they use it a lot because it looks better sometimes. So the SS StuGs troop, not stopped or stop troop, but StuGs troop. And they carry 3 PPSHs. So these guys basically probably maybe came from the Eastern Front, or you know, they just got supplied with Eastern Front weapons. So the 3 PPSHs, 2 MP40s, a Panzerfaust, which you get, is there any number here? Oh, damn, you get 5 of them instead of 3. Damn, that's good. I just realized you get 5 Panzerfausts. That's really, really good. Is he wearing a Knight's Cross right there? Damn, these guys are definitely not a force to be fucked with. And like I said, they also get smoke grenades. Then moving on to Phase A, you also get Panzergrenadiere. These guys actually don't come with a Panzerfaust, but I guess these 5 Panzerfausts per team kind of make up for that. 10-man squad, 7 rifles, 1 MP40, and 2 MG40. Oh, almost said 34s. 2 MG42s. It's kind of hard to see the difference between the 42 and the 34 so far for me on the pictures. A very important thing in Phase A to me is the fact that they actually get the availability of MG42s in Phase A. Now, I don't think you need all 3 of these cards. I don't even think you need 2 cards. I use these guys to cover open fields, or to cover the outsides of cities, or to cover AT guns that I don't want to, you know, waste a whole unit on to cover. Just buy one of these machine guns, put them close, and that way you kind of either have to be mortared out, or you have to have a tank that gets really lucky, or an airstrike. So it kind of lowers the possibility for you to get instantly wrecked, because a machine gun will destroy infantry in the open coming towards it. Whether or not it's an MG42 or a Vickers or an M1919, it's going to do lots of damage. Then in Phase B, we get the Pionierführer, 2 MP40s, 2 792 cars, and the bundle stick grenade, which is, or bundled stick grenade, which is just like lots of stick grenades bundled into one, does a lot of damage. I think you only get one of them though. Yeah, you get 1 ammunitions, but that's a lot of damage up close. If that fucking hits your building, you're kind of fucked. Moving on to Phase B, we get more availability for the Stoßtruppen. They're the same weapons, they just get, you know, 6 instead of 4. You get more cards, which these guys are only 5-man squads, but I think they make up for that by far by A, the fact that they're all holding SMGs, and B, by the fact that they have a Panzerfaust each technically, which is awesome. Then we have Pioneers in Phase B with the bundled frag with 2 of them, an MG34, 7 cards, and 2 MP40s coming in one of those trucks. We have Panzergrenadiere in Phase B as well, which basically trade off 1 MP40 for an extra MG. They are also MG42s, not MG34s, so the fire rate is double from 187 to 400, so that's pretty damn good. And they also lose the ability to do those frag grenades. So I guess that's kind of the thing. Do you want to have like a city fight with the grenades, or do you want to have a city fight with MGs with no grenades? And last but not least, the Sturmpioniere, 2 MP40s, 3 cars, and a napalm flamethrower, which I don't know which one they use though. Flamme number 41. Okay, so they have a flamethrower, and I don't know, it's a 6-man squad, so I might consider bringing one of these for a city battle, especially because you get 6 of them in Phase B, and then you just send them forward, have them burn the entire village to the ground, and then move your infantry in. Pardon me, so. Okay, moving on to tanks. Like I said, kind of looked at this already a little bit, but I'm going to go over it very quickly. We have a StuG 3 with 2 stars in Phase A, which is a single availability card, so you only get 1 of them. Kind of the only downside of this is that it doesn't have a lot of armor. Other than that, I can really see myself liking this as a early unit to counter, you know, Shermans, even a Churchill, because with 14 AP, you're up there. That's a good, especially with 2 stars. That's pretty damn good. All right, then we have the Befehlspanzer 4 in Phase B. We get 3 of them, all 1 per card, 2 stars each. That's definitely not bad. I would never get all 3 of them. I'd probably just get 2 and then get this, and then, I don't know, maybe even get 1 of them and stick an extra leader in the infantry. I don't know, probably get like this, and that. So you have the stars all over, or you can even switch it out for this. You could have, you know, you want to have tank. I've definitely learned that I'm not really a big tank user in this game, and that I like to spend points on AT guns and infantry. So I like having less of something, but more veterancy of it, especially when it comes to armor, because I barely use it. So this will probably be a very decent setup for me. Obviously, your mileage may vary. We have the StuG 3Gs in Phase B, which you get 4 per card of. And then also in Phase B, for 10 more points, you can get the 12 versus 10, or 2 versus 10. Wait, 2 more than 10. You can get the 12. That's why you fucking screwed that up. You can get the 12 frontal armor instead of the 10 frontal armor for 10 more points, StuGs. And you lose a little bit of speed, and you lose like 2 rounds of you lose 2 rounds of AP, but you get 6 rounds of HE. I don't really know how that works, but you lose a little bit of space. You gain a little, like a little space on the other thing. You basically just switch from a Panzer III chassis to a Panzer IV chassis, as far as I'm aware. But then again, you know, you can have no stars on 3, 1 star for 2, or here you're gonna have in Phase C, you can have 1 star at 4, or you can have 2 stars for 2. So it's just, you know, making a choice. Do you want good for less, or worse for more. It's the standard thing in this game right now, and I have to say I really am addicted to making decks all the time. Then in phase A, under the support, you get the SPW223, which on itself is pretty useless. It's got like a machine gun, but the fact that it's 2 stars makes it an alright unit for infantry support, and the fact that you get 2 per card and you have a lot of support space here. You can get 4 of them in phase A. Not saying you should call all 4 in, but you could get all 4 there, or you could switch out 1 in phase A and 1 of these in phase B, which is basically the 2-3-2 you saw in the Recon, but this time it's a support vehicle as well, or it's a command vehicle as well. And command vehicles I've seen, or command infantry, can win or lose you battles. Whenever I get an AT gun and it's like a heavy AT gun, I put a leader with it. And it does so much better. You have to understand that that is probably the most important thing in this game. Put your fucking leaders next to important units, whether it's a Panther or a Crocodile or an Achilles. Just make sure that the units you want to do good, you have these guys with them. And for 30 points in phase A, you get 2 of them. That's really damn good. Moving on to the Infantry Geschütz 18 with the 75 short stubby, as well seen on one of those Recon vehicles. It's basically just an infantry support gun. It's got 800 meter range. I think it's an artillery piece that can fire over stuff. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm assuming because it's got that much range, it probably can fire over stuff. But it might not be able to fire in like a super high arc. It's kind of like a mediocre arc where it still has to see the target most of the time, I think. Moving on to the Opel Blitz munitions, 2 in phase A, 10,000 supply. You really only need 1 of these cards. Whether you get 4 of them in phase B or 2 of them in phase A, 100% up to you. I don't think you ever need them in phase A with this deck, so I just stick to 4 of them in phase B and you're fine. Like I said, if you have the 2-3-2 in phase B, 2 of them, they're command units. You get the 20 mil and the 7.92 34. It's just standard stuff. Then we have the SIG 33, which is a 150 millimeter gun. And again, I don't know. The range on this makes me think it's not an actual artillery piece, especially because it's cheap. But this is basically just like a direct fire support gun. Like it's an artillery gun that cannot fire too high over buildings and stuff. I'm assuming because of the short range and the fact that it's in the support, not the artillery tab. The grill, again, is basically I'm pretty sure this is a 633, right? Yeah, it's the same gun. However, it's on top of a vehicle, which obviously makes it a lot quicker. It's 8 kilometers per hour when this is unlimbered and the truck's gone. This still goes 60 on road. So do you want to spend 30 more points and get 1 less in the card? 3 versus 2. But you get it on tracks. Obviously, I'd always pick the track version because you get armor and you get... Oh, well, you do lose like 15 shells, I guess, but... In the end, I think it's worth getting this over this, but that's my opinion. Also, you lose a star. I just realized that it kind of sucks. And then in phase C, you can get 4 of these 2-3-2s. I don't really know if that's really worth it, especially not. I don't know why I ever put 2 cards here, because no one's ever going to get both of these. Moving on to the anti-tank, which is where this division is really, really, really good. And we'll get to that in a second. This is ridiculous. So A, obviously, you get Panzer Shreks and Schwimmwagens. It's a regular Panzer Shrek unit. You get 3 of them per card, 30 points. They're just your regular Panzer Shrek. Then, in Phase A, you can get 3 Pack 38 50 mils as well. And you can get 1 Pack 40 75 mil, which you can get as well in a Fallschirmjäger, or you just get a cool half-track with it. Then in Phase B, you get 5 Panzer Shrek per card. And in Phase B, you can get 3 Pack 40s instead of the 1 in Phase B. You can also get Martyr 3 M's. Here comes the awesome thing. The Pack 38 has an AP power of 10. The Panzer Shrek has an AP power of 6. However, I've seen the Panzer Shrek just destroy everything because it's a shaped charge. The Pack 40 has an AP power of 15. And the Martyr has an AP power of 13 because I think it uses the Pack 40, like I said. Okay. So we have 10. Wait, sorry. We have 10. 15, 13, and 20 fucking 2. 15 is high. 22 is overkill. It even comes with a Maul tier. That's insane. This is This gun is the gun that you find on the Yak Panther, on the King Tiger, on the Nashorn, and it's here in a gun version. And that's not it. You can get one of them in Phase B for 130 points. That is quite steep. That's a lot of points. You know, for 30 or 40 more points, you can get a very good tank as a 12th SS. But we'll skip this for now. We'll look at this in a second. We have 5 Martyrs in Phase C, times 3 cards. And then here comes the fucking kicker. In Phase C, you can get 3 cards of 2 Pack 43s with 1 star, or you get 1 card with 1 Pack 43 with 2 stars. That basically means that you have a Yak Panther waiting in a bush with 2 stars with 1200 meter range. So the only thing that's going to reliably kill this is artillery or air. This thing also carries HE. It's got 20 rounds of HE. So even if infantry is trying to get closer to it, it's probably going to be heavily suppressed or falling back when it even gets close to the gun. And the fact that this has 22 AP, I think makes it the most powerful gun in the game as of right now. And seeing as this is the same gun as the Yak Panther and the King Tiger and the Nashorn have, I'm assuming this is going to stay the most powerful gun in the game, as far as I'm aware. Unless we know you get like a Russian DLC with the BS3, which I think does more penetration because it's a 100mm gun. This is insane. Like, this is awesome. And I'm a big fan of AT guns. I like putting them in bushes and putting like a Recon next to it and just sitting there and like rubbing my hands together. Oh yeah, here comes a tank. Is it going to roll into my trap? And for some reason, it never gets old. Seeing an AT gun, the circle above it start opening up and then fire. And then the tank's like, oh shit. And then the player, it's like, oh shit, pull back, pull back, pull back. And then what I like doing is microing these guys, putting them on hold fire until they're, you know, let's say 50 meters in range. Where if you start firing when they're actually just in range, the first shot might miss or it might bounce or whatever. Even with a big pack, you know, it might miss. If you let them come in range just a little bit, if it's 50 meters or even 100 meters, and then you press H again, which is the hold fire button, or you can just press the gun thing in the bottom right, it doesn't have enough time to retreat all the way out of range before you can get at least 2 or 3 more shots off. Trust me, with this Pack 43 at 2 stars, I would be very much surprised if it doesn't kill anything within those first 3 shots. Maybe a jumbo, you know, if it's lucky, I guess. But this is a big fucking gun. Anyway, that's enough talking about the AT guns. I'm just really excited to use these at some point, especially against a jumbo. I want to see what a jumbo head-on does against a Pack 43. Moving on, we have the anti-air tab, which is ridiculous. The 12th SS gets 4 flak fearlings in Phase C. The 17th SS gets 2 of them per card in Phase A. Have not used these yet. I can definitely tell you this is going to cause a lot of suppression and a lot of nightmares for infantry because this is ridiculous in Phase A. Then in Phase A, a single flak 36, 37 mil. Haven't really used these to great success. Not really a big fan. In Phase B, you can get 4 SDKFZs 10-4, which is a 20 mil on back of a I don't know. This might just be an SDKFZ 10, I guess, then, because this is a 7. It's just a 20 mil on back of a half track. You know, no armor, but hey, it's more maneuverable. It's 77 kilometers per hour versus, I don't know, there's a single 20 mil. I mean, this is 10 kilometers per hour. This is 10 kilometers per hour. So I'm assuming if you push it 20 mil, it's going to be 10 kilometers per hour. If you're driving it, it's fucking 77. Then we have an extra flak veerling in Phase B over Phase A card, 3 versus 2, and 2 versus Phase A, well, only 1. Then we get the 7-1, which is a flak veerling on the back of a half track, which is awesome. And we get the 7-1 in Phase C as well, just to double the availability. And in Phase C, you can get a single star for 2 per card single star, 37 mil in the back of a half track, and a single per card 2-star 37, or I almost tried to say 3.7, or I guess both works. A 3.7 or 37 millimeter on the back of a half track, but 2 stars, which is, I always look at these as a like infantry support thing as well, and I guess that's pretty damn insane. Having a 2-star 37 millimeter, you know, covering your infantry or attacking enemy infantry, it's gonna be pretty bloody. Moving on to the artillery. In Phase A, we get the Granatwerfer 81 or 81 millimeter, the 81 millimeter mortar. 3 of them, and that's 2 cards. We get the Beobachtungspanzer, which means as much as Beobachtungs means Overwatch, I think, or something along those lines. You get 3 of them, 3 cards, only 1 per card. They're only 170 millimeters, but in Phase A, that off-map artillery can mean a difference between getting into a town or not getting in it, or getting this part, or just putting a dent into an enemy's defense or attack even can be really important in Phase A, especially if you're heavily infantry-based. You know, let's say you're fighting the British. If you drop an artillery shell on their infantry, they're not going to like it a lot. Then in Phase B, you get 2 Nebelwerfers with 1 star per card. Have been looking forward to these guys. They only, of course, have 6 rounds, but 600 meters isn't that bad, and they're going to do a lot of damage. Phase B also sees the FK-18, which must be a captured gun, because I have never seen this before in the German military, although technically it should say FK-18 in between brackets R or F or T, but I don't know, maybe I've never seen this before, and it's also like a very weird caliber. I have no clue what this is. Honestly, I've never seen this before. This is just a 75mm field gun with 2,000 meter range, apparently. It's just a lot of lighter artillery per gun. In Phase B, you can also get 2 of the heavy 120mm fucking mortars, which have the same range as the Nebelwerfer. They just carry more ammo, you know. They'll probably do a volley, and then the ammo works a bit differently for them. This was the 150mm Nebelwerfer. Here we have the 300mm Nebelwerfer, which is going to be doing a lot more damage. Although it only does 5 more damage, I'm assuming that because they're literally twice the size, these might cause more suppression and will destroy buildings quicker. We also have the SK-18, which I know as the Schwere Fieldhowitzer, or Heavy Field Howitzer 18, pardon me, which is actually, this might not be that, because this is only a 105. I'm pretty sure that's a 150 mil, the one I'm talking about. It's a 4,000 range, 105mm gun. You get 2 of them per card with 1 star. I also totally forgot to say that these actually are 1 star as well, these Vendel, which is pretty damn good. You also get 3 of the heavy mortars in Phase C, just kind of upping that from Phase B, from +1. You get the Beobachtungs-Schwimmwagen in Phase C, 2 per card with a 210mm railway. Oh no, it's actually not railway artillery, it's just regular artillery. You get the, still it says in French, tir d'alerte. That probably should still be changed to English at some point. You just get heavy off-map artillery. You get 6 of them, which is ridiculous, which means 18 barrages. Though I'd be surprised that someone can spend 260, 520, like 780 points on just artillery. It's a bit ridiculous. And then in Phase C, you can get 3 of these howitzers, but you get an extra card of 3, and they're also 3 instead of 2. So you want to have artillery in Phase C. You can go ham with fucking 9 artillery for some reason. And then in air, we have the Storch. I still don't know how to say it. Stork or Storch? Stork or Storch? I think it's Stork. We have the Stork or Storch, which is a recon plane. Has a machine gun in there, just not said over here on the card. I don't know if defensive guns are a thing in this game. Well, this has a defensive gun, as you can see. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it is. Then my favorite, we have the Stuka in Phase A, which is a bomber, the D variant, which is an early war variant, still carries the machine guns on the sides. I think some of the Ds did actually carry 20 mils, but I don't know if we can see that in this. We won't see that in this game, apparently. We also have one single ME-109 G2-BR21, which refers to the rockets underneath the wings, which, you know, you've seen already before. They're just like heavy rockets that, you know, deal lots of damage, especially to AT guns and stuff. I like using these to snipe AT guns and mortar crews out of, you know, their business. And then in Phase B, you can get 2 bombers per card, which at 1 star, or you get 1 Stuka with 2 stars, which Stukas are slow. I'm assuming they're more accurate. Their agility is excellent, but I'm assuming they're they're obviously going to be a lot slower, and I'm assuming their accuracy might be bigger because there may be a dive bombing thing. I've not seen it in action yet, which is kind of my only thing I want to see. Also, there's like a T-34 on here. It looks like a T-34, if anything. So, you know, maybe we'll see that at some point in the future. Maybe Beutepanzers or a DLC regarding Stalingrad or something. Well, I don't know. We'll see that in the future. One of my favorite things in this deck for the airplanes is the Focke-Wulf fighters. You can get 6, which is a lot of your almost all of your airplane cards gone. But you can get 6 Focke-Wulf fighters. They're 0 stars, but they do come with 4 20 mils and 2 13 mils just about there above the nose, which makes them damn good fighters. And I think they're the only planes that can keep up with, if I look at these speeds, I think they're the only planes that can keep up with P-47s, which have the same speed of 700. And then in Phase B, you can also get a single Ju-87 Sturmvogel, which is the one with the 37mm anti-tank guns mounted to it, which is fucking awesome. Excellent agility, which I'm assuming will mean it will have, it can turn quicker than a Henschel can. It will definitely have less armor than the Henschel, though. It's kind of a downside of it. You also get 2 per card instead of the single card 109 G2 BR21s. And then you can get some bombers. You can get a Ju-88 for 220 points, a Ju-88S with 14 70 kilogram bombs. Or you get the big boy, which is 20 more points, 1 star, 1 card, 1 unit in the card for 2 500 kilogram bombs. So do you want to have lots of tiny bombs or just 2 very big boy bombs? It's up to you. In Phase C, you can double the Stormvogel cards because you get 2 of them, and you also get 2 per card. Or you can get, you know, your same thing. Do you want to have 2 very much tiny bombs or 2 very big, but, you know, just 2 big bombs? So I think this might be my favorite deck as of right now. I love the Stoßtruppen. I'm not going to use all of them because that's pretty much all your infantry gone. But I can definitely see myself making a very nice combination of the Stoßtruppen, flamethrowers, and the Panzergrenadier to make like this kind of, you know, rounded deck with AT and lots of machine guns. And the fact that you can get StuGs out of the butthole is absolutely amazing to me. And then there's these things are just ridiculous. I really want to have like a nice little ambush video where I ambush like a tank or 2 of these, and I'll go crazy when I do kill them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to stay awesome. Do drop a like if you liked it, and I would love to see you guys in the next one. Cheers.